Spirituality is not an esoteric concept or dimension. There must be an embodiment. There must be a physical dimension to spirituality for it to succeed in life itself. If it's kept esoteric or only intellectual in the idea stage, it becomes too lofty or what's previously thought of as spiritual, with no grounding, no embodiment. The whole idea of spirituality is to bring it down into the physical plane. This is my idea for Tennis of the Future. Tennis of the Future will be a spiritual embodiment of tennis and of its spiritual underpinnings. What these spiritual underpinnings are will be dependent on the person and on his philosophy of life. But there's a naturalness that has to be entered into, a sahaj. And this naturalness will be as we remove the encrustments that keep us from ourselves, from our true selves. I see Djokovic as the first tennis of the future spirituality player. He's given up his concepts of winning and losing and his coach Boris Becker for that guru that he has now that's into peace and love. This is what happens to people who have started playing when they were 4 years old and they play every day of their life and they have this physical body that's maybe just physical, and they've made $150 million and they've won every tournament that could be won, and they could be recognized as one of the 10 best players that ever lived, and he could change his diet so he's got complete control of his body, and this and that, and he still needs more. And what he needs more of, he claims, is peace and love, which is fine, because what he needs is a transcendence into the spiritual domain. Everything is an expression of love, so what he needs is to bring tennis into love. The funny thing about tennis is that it has the word love in it, like 6 love and 15 love. He needs the love part of tennis like we all do. Needs the love part of life like we all do. So what I'm proposing is for tennis players to look to the highest level tennis player in the world and emulate him. Emulate him because he has the meta needs, the ultimate needs. After being of this high level of physicality, he still needed more. So the next level, the tennis of the future, has to train this level of spirituality into his or her game from the inception of his tennis. Not wait till he's already 30 years old. Because tennis is basically a manifestation of this spirituality, an embodiment of spirituality itself. And when one recognizes his body as an embodiment of spirituality, he will be able to open to new dimensions. There are many factors in tennis. One, it's the body self. Number 2, it's the racket. Number 3, it's the ball. Number 4, it's the opponent on the other side. Number 5, the physical space. Number 6, the net. Number 7, we're in a confrontational domain where they have judges and rules. And so all these factors have to go in, and to see how you could interact with all these factors. You see, and that is where we're at today about the spiritual aspects of tennis. And I'm going to initiate this because Tennis of the Future, as you may or may not know, I've always thought it would be the left hand only of a two-handed backhand, meaning there will be 2 forehands in tennis. There will be no backhand. So this immediately opens you up to the 2 halves of oneself. It's just not that I'm playing with one hand or I'm playing with 2 hands on a backhand, but I'm actually wholeness in splitting myself and coming together as 2. And so these are the perceptions that have led me to that right from the inception. There has to be an understanding of the spiritual principles that's underlying this sport. For those who have studied Aikido, spiritual principles are very similar. Strangely enough, those spiritual principles of Aikido have roots in the Kabbalistic world. So my spiritual principles will obviously be within the spiritual domain of the Kabbalistic framework. And with that, I'd like to wish you a good luck in your pursuit of the tennis of the future, the spiritual domain.